So, today, this is the first time she's been on here that she knows about.
That I know about.
That she knows about. She knows about. And I feel like she's apprehensive about it.
What apprehensive? She have to watch my mouth.
So, if you've watched the introduction video, I mentioned on there that, you know, this might go into places such as maybe marriage advice, which I don't know if it's really advice or just an example of what we do for ourselves. So today, we're actually getting to get away from the kids for a couple of hours. We're going to go get massages. We're going to have lunch, and that's something that we try to do ever so often. We don't get to do it a whole lot. Like, we'll do this one today, and maybe in a month we might get another one when we go do some Christmas shopping. But either way, I don't even know if we got to go do Christmas shopping last year. We did it all online.
Yes.
We did it all online. So we didn't do that last year.
Or I took a day off from work.
We live far enough away from family where it's kind of hard to say, hey, watch the kids. So we end up paying someone. We've got a babysitter at the house right now. It's a family friend that we know, or I guess married into the family.
Yes.
So she's at the house watching kids. We're going to get massages and lunch. So the first video I talked about the marriage advice. I also talked about how we got to go to Savannah, just me and her, for 7 days. And her telling me that we should write a book about how we do this stuff. Which, as I said in the video, I'm not writing a book. That would be a train wreck. It'd be a train wreck.
It'd be a squirrel falling off its wheel.
Could you imagine me trying to write a book in Hillbilly and somebody, like, remember it or understand it or anything?
Okay, so maybe not a book. Maybe that's not our best option.
Yeah. And this isn't a podcast, so if we can just sit here and talk about it, well, I've got the perfect platform.
Your GoPro.
My GoPro. And the channel. Like, subscribe, turn your alerts on, leave comments.
Or just leave it to your kids and they'll turn the alerts on for you, because I get them for all kinds of channels.
Was it Fireman Sam?
No,
That one's on mine.
Oh gosh.
I get alerts for Fireman Sam.
It's Strange But Weird. I get all of their alerts. That's what he's watching.
Is it
on
good?
Netflix right now. It's the one about animals. I don't know. Where he told me that there's a pig that eats spinach and it can give you diseases and kill you, so I should stop putting spinach in my smoothies. That was yesterday.
Nice.
But it's only killed 3 people and caused a lot of sickness. That's what I got told.
Kind of like coronavirus?
Yes. You went there.
I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, so this is something that we try to do as much as we can. We don't get to do it enough, but we date each other. Yeah, we're married, but we believe that you have to have time just for each other without having to scream at kids in the back seat, tell them to hush, and listen to them whine about how they're starving even though they ate 15 minutes ago.
A whole pizza.
A whole pizza.
So, but to understand why we date each other, there's backstory there. When we started, I was 17, he was 19, and then there were lots of years of pursuit in between.
Anyway, go.
There's a lot of pursuit in there, and looking back on that time versus now, where we don't have a lot of time to do fun things, we realize the importance of just making time. Because if you don't communicate or you don't spend time together, the little things become the big things, and then it snowballs into a train wreck. So if you make time for conversation, a meal, even if it is a cup of coffee on the porch when you think they're still asleep. It is.
When you think they're still asleep.
Yes, and they come out with a cupcake.
Yeah.
So.
At 8 a.m.
It wasn't even 8. So, it is making the time for the pursuit, because It's not always going to be easy to talk, but it is always going to be important.
Well, and you know, if you don't, you said something, you know, if you don't pursue, like, part of dating, I think, at least for me anyway, was the pursuit of an idea. Like what do I get to do to make this work out? Well, you can't stop once you sign a piece of paper and say I do. You have to continue that. I mean, it's not like, oh, gotcha.
Oh, that's only with flowers.
You used to buy me flowers every week.
Every Friday. While we dated. And I said yes. I've gotten flowers on holidays since then.
We've added another kid.
Yes, the mouthy one.
And a more extravagant lifestyle. Partially my fault.
I mean, I'm cheap. I don't know about you.
You probably don't want to tell them that you're cheap. So yeah, I mean,
Date your spouse. That's the moral of the story. And even if it doesn't have to be extravagant. It does not have to be Lonesome Dove and, you know, flowers and all those things, as awesome as that is. Don't get me wrong.
If you don't know what Lonesome Dove is, it's a restaurant near where we live at, and I'll may or may not do reviews. Remember I said like a food critic type thing?
We've talked about that for years.
We've talked about that.
So,
anyway.
It can be the little things. It can be a cup of coffee in a minute. It can be a, hey, I got a babysitter, let's go get a massage. It can be you eat dinner on the back porch and you send the kids upstairs with a slice of pizza.
Hopefully they stay.
It is the intention, not the products that go into it to making it happen.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be. We joked about, we pulled up in Target parking lot, and I think this may have been when we were doing Christmas shopping a couple of years ago. We pulled up in Target parking lot, we parked the car, we're getting ready to get out, and we look over, and in the car next to us was a couple eating a pizza. No kids in the car. I think there were car seats.
Yes, there were car seats in the back seat.
Eating a pizza and whatever that, they were having a meal in their car at the Target parking lot because they didn't have their kids. I mean, maybe that's what worked for them, and if that's the case, then great. But oh my gosh!
I mean, Little Caesars in the Target parking lot is a really good.
Woo! Here's y'all a little bit of music. I didn't know I was gonna do that again. Yeah, so Little Caesars $5 pickup in the parking lot of wherever you want to go to. If that's how you get to spend your time, then spend your time that way. Even if you don't go out to eat, make a minute. Go for a drive. Just do something to reconnect with your spouse. It's too often that we get into the normal everyday grind of routines and, you know, day in, day out, everything's the same.
And if you have kids, it's more than that. You've got basketball practice, baseball practice, football practice. You've got beta club meetings, and you've got this, and you've got that. And because I teach and I live in it, I'm not a soccer mom, and I live in it, the monotony based off your profession will make it worse. And then if you're married to somebody that works shift work, that makes it even harder. So it is a intentional mindset, even when you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And if the beach is involved, that's better.
Of course, I mean, I think both of us always feel like when we get that moment to, and don't get us wrong, like, we love our kids to death. And we take them absolutely everywhere. And sometimes that's just, you just need a break from that.
Especially when you teach them all day long.
So our oldest is in her class.
For half the day.
For half the day. Thanks to coronavirus.
He would have been in my bus regardless.
Yeah, but he would have only been like for part of the day.
That's
like,
what he is now.
But he would have been like a whole half, would he?
Yeah. So
Oh, I thought they did like periods. Like
no, he's in my room because of coronavirus.
yeah. See, I don't understand any of that. All of that's changed since I went to school. Because I'm old. Yeah, go ahead, because I'm old.
He is old. In case you're wondering, he's older than me.
Yeah, whole 2 years. If you didn't catch that from back when we dated before I was 19 and she was... What else? Talk to each other. Holy crap. That, regardless if the kids are there or not, if they interrupt you, just tell them to hush. It's something hard for us, like, it's hard for us to sit and have a discussion because one of them is constantly like, hey, can I ask you a question? The almost 4-year-old is on a trip right now. It's, hey, Dad, can I ask you a question? Yeah, go ahead. I love you. I don't think he gets what asking the question's all about.
It's better than, hey, can I ask you a question? Wipe my butt.
Wipe my butt.
So
you can wipe your own butt. Don't care. Want you to do it.
Yes, our 4-year-old can wipe his own butt, but he refuses. So there's that.
He also refuses to sleep in his bed.
There's that too.
Which is, it looks so good all the time, so refreshed.
It's not our 6-pound Yorkie. It's our 40-pound 4-year-old.
Yeah. Who likes to sleep sideways in the bed.
So, talk. That's the next thing. Communicate. We both have parents that I think talk about a little bit of everything. His parents are retired and are together 24/7. My parents have always just kind of hashed it out, for lack of better words. Good times, bad times, ugly times, they hashed it out. So
her dad's a saint though. Like, I don't think he holds a grudge, and if he does, he doesn't show it at all.
And my mom's a talker, so they hash it out. But even if you're mad, even if it's not pretty, even if it's not nice, I mean, he tells me I'm not nice at least once a week.
She's not nice at least once a week.
Say it. Don't hold on to it, because if you do, the little things become the big things, and it's much easier to just hash it out. And I know that's not always everybody's strong suit. We know plenty of people that would,
They would just hold on to it and let it grow and develop into something that it should have never been.
But I had this conversation with a family member 2 days ago, and she's a talker and her spouse is not, and she's intentionally working on making him a talker. And she said, he doesn't like this, but I'm not holding on to it because that gives me anxiety that I don't have time for. So don't hold on to it. Talk about it. And even if you don't agree, find middle ground.
Yeah,
because
it's like I've said before, you can agree to disagree on, and when it comes to your marriage, that has to be on certain things. There's plenty of stuff that we disagree on, but it's not like something that's going to break our relationship. It's dumb stuff.
The importance of local coffee shops.
Negative ghostwriter. However, I would rather you drink local coffee shops than other mainstream, prominent coffee shops. I'm not going to say any names.
So, just talk about it. And it may not be anything important. It may just be your day. He loves when I call and ask how his day was.
Because I'm always driving when that happens. And there's it's one thing for me to be sitting here and talking on a camera with her or by myself, as opposed to having a phone in my ear or playing through the car or whatever. It's just, and then plus, so here's another thing, and I don't know if I've ever told you this. Like when she calls me and asks how my day was, and we talk for like 30 minutes for my drive from work to home, I get home, we don't have anything to talk about. We've talked about everything. Like there's nothing else.
I'm a teacher. There's plenty.
Yeah, but you forget about it.
There's that too. So, just...
And where I work at, there's some things I just can't talk about. some things that I wouldn't talk about. Even when I worked for my old fire department, there was things I wouldn't talk about just simply because I don't need to bring those kind of images on somebody that doesn't do this.
So
stressful enough.
Talk about the little things, even if they're boring. I tell plenty of stories that I find amusing that he doesn't understand. So
yeah, she got a different sense of humor. She shares that with her brother and sister.
If you've met my siblings, you totally get it. Except Jacob still doesn't think wings and pizza is funny. I still think it's funny. He doesn't think it's funny. And Olivia tells me I'm stupid. Funny. So.
Well. Yeah, communicate, date your spouse. Go places, do things. Even if you don't like what you're about to do, guys, do it anyway. Just man up.
Pumpkin patch. He loves
oh my god. Oh my god. So I think the reason I don't like fall as much is because I know it's about to be cold, which means that I'll be inside more, which I don't. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I'd much rather it be warm and be outside doing stuff, or I don't know. It's just not a. That's nice. It's still as far away as Turkey Creek, though.
He doesn't like fall. He doesn't like pumpkin patches.
I don't like going to pumpkin patch because there's about 1 million people. It's kind of like Disney World. And if you want to know my theory on Disney World,
he loves Disney World.
No, that place. I think this is where I'm going.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, here it is. Disney World that's for a whole other episode or a whole other video. Hopefully this will remind me to do it, but we'll have to both get together for this and tell the story.
It's funny.
It's not. It's
funny.
It's horrible. That place is a. Anyway. All right, so we are at our massages. Communicate. Date each other. There's other things involved, but
I feel like that's a whole nother
episode.
Well, you have to dive into things that don't necessarily.
Not YouTube friendly?
I mean, yes. Everything's YouTube friendly. What are you talking about?